Hello, we're MossCharmly.
And in this episode, we're going to be talking about inspirational fantasy art books. We have two of them. One is Beksinski, and the other is Frazetta. Here we go.
Yeah, this is an amazing artist, Beksinski. This book is called The Fantastic Art of Beksinski. Mm-hmm. He is amazing. He's from Poland. Mm-hmm. He's right there in the cover. He is a really interesting guy.
He's a bit recluse.
Yeah, he is very shy. Mm-hmm. He would never go to his own art galleries or, his own openings. Mm-hmm. And he was incredible. He started out with photography and sculpture, mm-hmm. and he moved on to paintings. And I really love showing his paintings because it's like you've seen his art and you never knew you've seen his art.
And how many things it's influenced too.
Yes.
I mean, if you think about it.
Absolutely.
It's quite interesting, right?
Yeah.
I mean, even down to Returnal, a PS5 game that came out. And there are a few that he's influenced, so it's interesting.
There's a lot.
Giger actually, it's in the book, right, where this is something he's never seen before. Pretty interesting.
It really is.
An interesting guy. He has an interesting life.
He's
sad,
very sad, but very interesting. So his work is very dark, very like nightmares, like he's kind of
dreamscape.
Yeah,
I would say. It's very, very interesting.
It's beautiful and dark, mm-hmm. and it just takes your interest. It's like he's captured nightmares in amber, and in a way that you get to see, and it's really beautiful, and he makes that darkness mysterious and intriguing. Yeah, but there's so much to him. Definitely.
Like, if you really see how he was an oil painter, and he did a lot of it. Some of these images or some of these paintings are very large. So it's kind of interesting to see that, this medium was all done by hand, in an age where he actually evolved into the digital format at the end.
Yes, he did.
Which was fascinating, because obviously he was altering the way he wanted to create his art.
Yeah.
I mean, he went from photography, which he really enjoyed, and you can see all of his aspects of where he gets his inspiration from. I mean, it's fascinating. I mean, even if you look at these, you're looking at an image that could quite easily have been inspired in, like, Constantine, the movie with Keanu Reeves. I mean, these are like inspirations that so many people have drawn from.
Yeah.
So haunting.
And he has studied in architecture at one point. What's amazing about him as well is he's self-taught. He's a self-taught painter.
Mm-hmm. That's very important to keep in mind.
Yeah.
For people who are really struggling with, what am I going to do? What can I do without education? It's all up to you in many cases. So, look at him as an example. So, yeah. Yeah,
and we'll leave, in the description, we'll leave where you could see more of his art. You could Google him or...
Yeah.
But they do have a museum in Poland with his work, mm-hmm. which is really amazing too. So we'll leave that in the description.
Yeah.
It's just so amazing, and we really wanted to share it with you.
Yeah.
He's lived a really interesting life, and he was kind of a quirky fellow, where he would say things that were kind of just really kind of neat.
He was very different in the way he obviously perceived the world.
Yeah.
And he interacted with it.
Yeah.
Wasn't he OCD? Didn't he?
Yeah,
what did he call it?
Neurotic diarrhea.
Yes.
I think
he's a wonderful person. That's how we all call it.
He had this kind of like sweetness and good humor about him, it seemed, right. Even though he went through so much darkness in his life.
Yeah. Even in the end. Right?
Yeah, in the end. He it's weird to say, he was murdered.
For $100 U.S. currency.
Yeah.
It would be. Yeah.
Very odd. He was murdered at 75 years old.
Yeah.
And found stabbed in his apartment.
Multiple times,
by a teenager who was...
His son's friend?
His son's friend, a caretaker. I think it was very sad and odd because he wouldn't loan him money. Yeah. So that's
multiple times you won't ask for money.
So it's just really weird to say that, but it's just he was a really amazing person with an amazing imagination, he was also very inspired by music, which was his main source of inspiration. So you kind of wouldn't
I wonder what he was listening to in his headphones, right?
I think classical, I don't know, but he really loved music. Yeah. So...
And obviously organic form.
Yeah.
I mean, such an amazing interpretation of trees.
I was just I was thinking that too. Like he's a tree branch, hand, fingers.
He's got that knuckle skin kind of mummified. I mean, he had
but like made
mummies.
It look like tree branch.
Yeah.
It's beautiful.
It's gorgeous. So organic, but yet so haunting in that way of like, ooh.
Yeah, it captures you.
It does. It's really beautiful work.
Yeah.
Really
so also, if you think you might be too dark, or you're worried about somebody, or a feeling about what somebody might say about your work, he's a great example of just express yourself. It doesn't matter. Just express what you feel or what you want to express.
Yeah. If you really want to be successful in your own right, in your own mind, in your own heart, just do what feels right to you as an artist.
Yeah.
So many people will just...
People are always going to try to make up what they're trying to like make up what your art means to them.
Like that,
and
right?
That doesn't even matter. Just express yourself and enjoy other artists and find inspiration wherever you like.
Exactly.
This is just kind of something we really wanted to share with you, and just his.
There's nothing like it.
Yeah,
if you think about it.
Yeah,
you've got Geiger, of course, but that's something that's in that sort of organic form, I would say, in that sort of style. But that's not the same. This has a very different feeling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Geiger was his like Swiss contemporary.
Counterpart. Yeah. Sure, it's fantastic work. So, just really wanted to share this book with everyone because it's very, very inspirational, and you can still we're going to put the link below.
Yes,
we are on Amazon or purchase it somewhere. So,
yes, we are. So you can find this book too because it's really cool, and he's just a really interesting person, and I think it's kind of neat that you in real life that people wouldn't expect somebody who's kind and quiet and shy to make these kind of paintings.
Yeah. Like if you saw pictures of him, and if you look him up, you can see many pictures of him. You would not expect by how he looks.
Yeah, he's just like a really cool person. So
kind of looks like he's a math teacher. You know what I mean?
Very friendly.
Very friendly math teacher.
One who doesn't make you cry.
No, yes, exactly right. Yes, that is the truth of it. So,
This painting too is just like one you've always seen, and it's on some album covers. Yeah, I think in Poland.
Yeah,
there's just a few like metal bands I think have it.
Right.
I think
there were.
So it's just
lots of bands.
So
use his artwork.
Cool. So we just really wanted to share that, and like how he even did a lot of sketches.
You can find, even in the gallery, there's going to be links to sketchbooks and photography.
Yeah.
But it's fascinating because also in the back of the book, in the beginning of this video, you'll see his actual digital artwork. So we went backwards. But
I was so excited to film this. I always flip backwards. Sorry about that.
Well,
but
it's just manga. That's the whole thing.
You're right.
It is, right? That's cool.
Yeah.
So check out the book if you get a chance, because it's definitely something you will not regret purchasing, or just if you local library or something like that.
Yeah.
Give it a try.
He's worth checking out. Beksinski.
Beksinski. He's fantastic. You've seen it and you recognize it, and here you go.
Yeah.
So
he's a truly amazing Barockish Gothic artist.
Very inspirational. Very inspirational. So we hope you enjoy that guy.
Yeah.
He's awesome.
Check it out.
And here we go.
Next up.
Moving on to Frank Frazetta. This book is absolutely amazing. It's actually surprisingly heavy.
I will say it's heavy and it's thick. It was kind of hard to hold up to show you, but
for sure.
It's amazing. His paintings, again, I really love his paintings, and there's so much work by him that you wouldn't expect that he's done or you've never
Conan
seen.
Right there. That's Conan.
Yeah. Look at that.
Up, What do you call that? That's
I have a thing.
Drape?
I call that the Frazetta drape. There's like, he's known, without you knowing, like he's known for his poses. And weirdly, he always shows like a woman like draped over, a man's leg in such a comical way. I find it comical.
It's been used so many times.
Yeah,
it's one of those like iconic images.
Yeah, you've seen it
like, wow.
in other movies and in other things.
Yeah. This is some of his ink work that's really amazing. This is interesting because this book definitely is a perfect accompaniment to, I think it's Painting with Fire?
Yes!
The documentary that they did.
And we're going to show that, a little snippet of that, just in the back of this. But like, he's just such a good painter, and we really wanted to share with you how...
Self-taught.
Yes.
Right? In a way. He went to it was a Brooklyn Academy of Fine Art, I think it was. It was very, very short-lived. It didn't really do very much, but it's obvious that, he definitely had poses and things, learning his basics and that kind of stuff.
He got into comics, and he just kept going.
Yeah, and he obviously kept going. I mean, what was it? Fire and Ice was actually a movie he worked on. That was in 1983, from what I understand or remember. Yeah. Right? I mean, even down to the fact that and that movie was interesting because it inspires a lot of other movies like Heavy Metal, Wizards,
Rock and Rule.
Yeah, Rock and Rule is one everybody should check out. Very cool. American Pop. He, same director did Cool World. I mean, look, he did a Star Trek poster right there. And that's probably like the Barbarian Brothers or something.
Like things you wouldn't expect him to have done. He wasn't. It was like he was never very popular with it, I guess. Yeah. But he did that, and that's awesome.
And he wore shorts.
He's
all
classy.
the time. No, the dude was a man of action.
I know, right?
Right?
It's awesome. I love those pictures that they have of people in the books. I think that's so cool.
He did a lot of book covers.
Yeah.
That was another one where he did. I remember when I was a kid going to B. Dalton Books, and I was like, didn't really read much because just didn't read much when I was younger. But it was like, I love the book covers. I love the art, just like, D&D covers and all of that. You know?
And that's so inspired by him. Oh my gosh.
I mean, isn't it? Like, you can't not think that that's part of what he was doing as a person,
He really showed like that intimidating characters, like those giants and the worlds that he made were very like cool science fiction and mixed with that jungle kind of aesthetic-y thing. It's just neat.
He was also known to repaint his paintings. He'd go back and like look at stuff because there's a museum and in Pennsylvania, I think, or back east, of course, back east. But he would always take the paintings off the wall. His wife would be like, "Hey, Frank, no. She'd keep the keys from him because he'd go in there and look at his paintings, and be like, "Nah, I'm not in. I'm going to change it up a little bit."
His paintings, he felt they were never enough.
Right?
Yeah, that was something about him.
So it's interesting. But this book definitely shows a lot of the gambit of artwork that he did that you wouldn't expect him to.
Yeah.
A lot of it's, of course, movie covers and human form and
he's great at drawing women, different bodies.
Men. I mean,
look at that.
Look at the glutes. It's incredible. Serious, right?
Yeah.
I mean, right? Who thought of polar bears? Right?
I did not.
It's fantastic. It's just
but
gorgeous
he makes it cool.
Yeah, and dynamic. How he paints everything.
Yes, I will say that is something really big. Everything he does is just like this dynamic, coming after you kind of
totally
like coolness.
Illustrative.
Yes.
It's fantastic. All oil colors, definitely did it, Did some stuff acrylic, I know that. But, obviously really honed his skill and knew exactly what he wanted to paint and how to paint it.
Yeah, he was big on doing everything last minute.
Oh, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was
overnight kind of stuff.
He would get an assignment and just be like, okay, and just paint over something else he did just get it done overnight. So that's kind of funny about him.
Mm-hmm. Gorgeous though. I mean, look at his artwork right there. He definitely is illustrative. Telling a story. It's amazing. They're just really cool.
Yeah, I love it. It's beautiful. It's just, it has a way about it where people they just have an intimidating, but like
presence.
A presence. Yeah. And they have that, they stand with, how do I describe it? It's like they stand with their presence. Like
They are.
They are. You can't push them over.
No.
Which, you kind of see a lot of characters.
Very formidable.
Yeah.
Dynamic.
I like that about them.
He's incredible. That's why.
Yeah.
This also, I will say, is that, forgot to say, but he did a lot of comics. He did work for EC. I think it was
he did.
Tales of, one of those, Fantastical Tales. They did a lot of EC, did a lot of that kind of stuff.
The Stranger one. I like that.
Tales,
those are great.
So we've got a bunch of the comic books over there. Anyway,
yeah.
Sorry, it's awesome old EC stuff. So absolutely amazing. But he did use a lot of the same models, and everybody would say, he's like, who is she? And he's like, it's my wife. What do you expect? I'm not gonna be painting anybody else. And it's pretty cool. So he did a lot of stuff all throughout his career. And then that's Judge Dredd from Arnold Schwarzenegger when he did it. I am the law. So, anybody saw that? So,
yeah.
Comic books. This is Death Dealer. This was the book when I went to B. Dalton's. That was the cover, and he did a few covers for that book series. So it was definitely like this masked man, and just look at that.
He's so good at drawing animals.
I bought the book and I'd never read it.
Like horses and tires and and it's just,
and how he went about doing it. Like they're in motion, they're moving, they're alive. Like it's almost like amazing. You feel the weight of the character.
Yes, you feel the weight. That's a great way to describe it. You do. You feel that.
I remember these books. They're in the collection up there somewhere.
His characters are just ones that aren't, you don't mess with them. Like that's kind of like they have that presence and that weight.
Mm-hmm. I actually, when I look at the paintings and I look at his work, I'm hearing the soundtrack to Conan the Barbarian. I swear to you, it's like it has this vibe that just brings you into a world.
I love it. I think fantastic. Of like Fire and Ice, and I think of
Fire and Ice. That was great animation.
I love how it was rotoscoped, and I love that.
That was a big deal back then. It was a big deal. So check that animation out. There's plenty of others. So.
Yeah, there are. He that one was just very inspired. He did the characters for that, so that's really cool.
So check out these books, okay?
We hope they inspire you. They're just really cool artists to check out. Two very
just to
different.
Learn about them, but they're both self-taught.
Yeah,
and you're like, wow, professionals. These are awesome. It's inspirational. It's an icon.
Yeah.
Oh, this is the DVD that we would recommend.
Yeah. So check that out.
Amazing.
Frazetta, Painting with Fire.
Yeah, check it out for sure. Okay, so
thank
you all very, very much for taking your time and hearing us out.
Yeah, and getting inspiration here.
Yeah, so
MossCharmly out.
Check everything out.
It's
They're
cool.
really awesome. They are, absolutely.
Bye.
Bye.